When you plant things in your garden, do you identify with the things that you plant? So let's say when your peppers start to grow and you notice how beautiful they are, do you say to yourself, I'm so beautiful today? Or when you harvest your freshly ripe tomatoes and you taste them and they are delicious, do you say to yourself, wow, I'm tasty today? And if one of those tomatoes has gone bad, do you say, oh no, I am so rotten? No, you simply keep the tasty ones for your salad and you throw the rest away. So, in the next few minutes, I'm going to teach you how to treat your thoughts the exact same way. Together, let's think of our minds as a garden that you have inherited. You woke up one day and you realized you had a garden. So think of that moment as coming into awareness, that moment when you were a kid or a teenager or even an adult, or even right now, and you realize that you could have your own thoughts in the privacy of your own mind. Now, you don't get to choose what's in the garden when you inherit it, but you do get to choose what you're going to maintain. You get to choose what you are going to weed out, what you are going to water, what you are going to trim, to harvest. And I'm willing to bet that there are some weeds in your garden. There are weeds in everyone's garden. And you've just kind of left them there at this point and decided to equate them with yourself. So, what are the weeds? Weeds are thoughts that get in your way when you're trying to make something happen for yourself, whether it's make more money, whether it's heal, whether it's to become more intimate in a relationship, to open up to friends and people and lovers. The weeds are hypercritical awareness, the self loathing, the negativity, the shame, the guilt, the I'm not good enough. I can't do this. Everybody hates me. The scenarios repeat over and over that are not of your best interest and that are not helpful. So let's say you go outside and you decide to walk through a garden full of weeds. The weeds that are full of those little burrs and pokey things, the ones that get stuck in your shoes or like your dog's fur. So now, can you imagine trying to walk through that weed garden barefoot? That would be incredibly painful. And the more you walked along, the more pokes you get and the more painful it will become. It's the same with these thoughts in your mind. And the thing is, the more you repeat them and the more you identify with them, the bigger they grow, the more they take root. And eventually you will have weeds, and you might already have some weeds that have grown so high that you mistake them for trees. So, in order to bring your mind back to health and keep it there, we need to uproot these weeds and replace them with something better. To uproot weeds means to detach from our thoughts, to literally uproot them from the soil of our minds. Because you see, there is no truth to these thoughts that you are having, only memory, only habit. There's only what you have been programmed to think about these thoughts and how you've attached meaning to them, or how someone else, society, your parents, religion, has attached meaning to them for you. So, to stick with our garden metaphor, there is no inherent truth to a seed. The seed can grow into a flower or a tree, but not if you throw it on the concrete, not if you throw it in the wrong soil or environment. This seed needs the right amount of water, the right amount of sunshine and soil and nutrients. So, getting into the habit of taking care of it is what turns it into what it wants to become. And your thoughts are the same. And again, when you plant a flower and you take care of it and it blooms, when you plant a tree and it bears juicy fruit, you don't say to yourself, wow, I am so gorgeous and juicy. No. You might be proud of yourself for being responsible enough to take care of the tree, You might be excited that this tree is growing, but ultimately you appreciate the beauty of the tree. And just like you would be annoyed by the presence of the weeds around it spoiling its beauty. There was a fact that I was told once, and it has always stuck with me. And I think it is truly beautiful because it really embodies the essence of gratitude. But in ancient societies, when people had ideas or moments of inspirations, they would thank the muses, they would thank the gods, they would thank nature. And they wouldn't even truly identify with their best ideas. And yet, in our world today, we're not only wanting credit for every little idea that we have, but we also immediately get caught in the onslaught of self criticism every time we have something somewhat creative going on in our heads. So here's what we're going to do. The next time you have one of these weeds, one of these thoughts, I want you to stop and say, you know what? That's a weed. And I'm choosing to take care of my garden. I'm choosing to care for it. I'm choosing to nurture it. And you know what? I don't think there's enough vegetables or fruits or flowers or trees or whatever it is that you are desiring. So while I uproot these weeds, what do I want to plant instead? You can plant anything, and this will be up to you. Maybe it's going to be more confidence. Maybe you want to be more soft or feminine, or maybe you want to learn how to stand up for yourself, to speak your opinions, to speak your truth. Whatever it is, you're going to create your own phrasing for the seed that you want to plant. Do you want to be more comfortable in your skin? Do you want to focus on more positivity in the world? Do you want to stop being jealous of your friend? Whatever it is, you're going to phrase it in a way that it's what you need to hear, in a way that you can read it and it makes like your heart expand. Like, yes, this is my truth. So you want to be more confident. Your seed is going to be a phrase that would make you feel more confident. I mean, you could say that you were confident. I mean, it could be as simple as that, or you can go into more detail, more specifics. And for the most impact, imagine it coming from someone who would make you feel the most confident. If it was them saying it to you, maybe it was your mother saying it to you. Maybe it's even your higher self, God. I mean, it can be anyone in the physical or the spirit realm. Think about what this phrase is for you for a second. Just what comes to mind first is perfect. And you can perfect it later. Once you have it, say it. Say it, but also feel it. Close your eyes and say the word and feel it. Feel that expansive feeling that it evokes. And see if it can be represented by a color. What color comes to mind when you say this phrase? What color does your phrase evoke? That one that you want to grow in your garden. Say that phrase again. And once you're done, or even during, breathe in that color. Again, close your eyes and visualize yourself breathing that color into your body. Then breathing out and letting that color expand and swirl around you and flow through your blood. Then water it every day. And when your mind starts reminding you why you shouldn't be confident or shouldn't be whatever it is that you're trying to be more of, you say it again and you breathe in that color again. When you're in bed, curled up crying because your mind is working against you, you say it again through the tears, through the sadness, through the embarrassment, and you breathe in that color, even despite your belief. because we will work on that belief in here. And the more you say it, the more your subconscious will see it as real. You see, your subconscious doesn't have real beliefs, it's a storehouse. It's a memory holder, and it takes what you tell it for face value. That's why they say whatever you tell yourself is true. So you tell yourself that you are amazing enough times, your mind will start to believe it. It will know it. And better yet, it will show it. And we're going to show it to your subconscious because that's the fastest way to integration. Show it through breathing in that color and feeling that phrase. The phrase, evoke that emotion within you. Because you can walk with two emotions. Even if you're sad, you can still think of a time when you were confident. And even right then and there, confidence shows up. You breathe it in with your color, and your subconscious knows what to do after that. And like anything you're planting in a real garden, you need to give the seed time to grow and be consistent with it. Don't just give it water, one day and leave it dry for a month. Water it just a little bit every single day. Give it the TLC that it needs and it wants, and make a habit out of caring for it. Give it energy and time and patience. Because remember, you inherited this garden. You didn't make this mess, and you don't get to keep it. You don't have to identify with it. You're not the plants in your garden. You're the gardener. You're not your thoughts, but you get to decide what thoughts come in and what thoughts get thrown away. So you aren't going to let the weeds just sit there and grow and let the rotten fruit affect all the rest of the crops. That was in the past, overdone. We are pulling what doesn't serve the health of the whole, pulling it out, throwing it in the earth. And we are replacing our focus on what our garden needs to be fruitful and blooming and healthy and happy. So I hope today that you walk through your garden and you give it the nourishment that it needs.